If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of achieving a healthy weight. If you do enjoy my video, make sure that you like this video, click on the subscribe button, as well as the bell icon so you'll get alerted when I go live. If you want to participate in on the discussion, you can join me on my live streams at 4 p.m. most weekdays. What an ego trap kind of is getting stuck in that mentality of perfection. The trap in the dietary ego trap is that the perfect diet doesn't exist. If there was a perfect diet out there, it would have been discovered and people would be screaming it from the rooftops. So what is the dietary ego trap? It's when we hold ourselves to an unrealistic standard. You make these plans when you start the diet. I'm going to remove all of the junk food, or I'm going to work out every day, twice a day, or I'm going to eat less than 1,500 calories a day, or track everything that I eat. I'm going to hit all my macros. I'm going to have this much vitamin A, this much vitamin B. When you get started with your diet, you can do that because you have this voice in your head a little bit, like you're motivated, but you have this voice in your head saying, good luck, buddy. We've seen this rodeo before. I give it a week and you'll be back at the buffet line. You kind of create in your mind this own personal underdog story where you set your bar for yourself here because you don't, like what are you going to do? You're not going to do it. You've tried this before. There's a ton of motivation when you think the world is against you. You start the diet and 2 weeks in, you're like, I'm doing this diet perfect and I'm getting the perfect results that I was hoping for. So then you start holding yourself to that perfection, thinking, as long as I stay perfect, I'm going to succeed. And you leave no room for failure. In your mind, failure isn't getting 59% on a test. In your mind, failure with this diet is doing it 99%. Failure is not being perfect. How long can you hold on to that perfection before life shows up and says, hey, you've been doing great, but I need you to deal with vacation coming up, or you lost your job, or you get injured, or a loved one gets injured and you have to help them? What are you going to do when those unexpected, stressful situations just pop up in your life and they throw you off your routine? Well, sometimes those things happen and you can make it through and pick up the pieces and get your diet back together. Other times, those moments are the catalyst for the destruction of your perfect diet. You think, if I can't be perfect, I'm not going to lose weight anymore, so why bother trying? So you just clear the chessboard, you flip the table over, say, screw this, I'm out. And it seems so much easier to either take full control of something or completely relinquish control. It's the middle ground that we all seem to have such a hard time with. Again, it's, if I can't be perfect, then why try? And you see it all the time, like when you deal with little kids, because they feel like if they're not doing this thing perfectly for you, then they're failing you as a parent, or they're failing their teachers or their coach or their peers. And we don't want people to think of us as failures. We'd rather not think of us at all than to think of us as failing at something. What can we do to combat this dietary ego trap? And I think the biggest part of it is you have to be compassionate and forgiving with yourself. You have to give yourself the same number of chances that you would give a kid learning how to ride a bike. When you're teaching somebody to do something like that, you're encouraging the whole time. They ride it and you go, look, you just went further than you did last time. You don't yell at them the first time they fall over. You say, get up, you're doing great. Let's give it another go. You got to do that with the diet too, because again, you have to understand that the perfect diet doesn't exist. And perfect only applies to math tests. And even at that, getting a perfect score on a math test may take one student 2 minutes longer than it took the rest of the students. Does that mean that their perfect score is worth any less because it took them longer to figure it out? No. And same with the diet. Even if it takes you longer to get to your goal than it took the person standing next to you, it doesn't make you getting to that goal any less valuable or any less important. The dietary perfection is just this unrealistic standard that we self-impose onto ourselves. There's nobody, you may have a coach or something, but at the end of the day, it's you're the one deciding what to put in the mouth, and you have to hold it onto yourself. And I've been doing this to myself for 20 years. I've been yo-yo dieting. I get into a groove and I would lose 50 pounds. I'd lose 100 pounds. And then something would come up, clear the board. And that's what got me up to 500 pounds. In the past 16 months, I've been close to perfect. I would say that getting a 90, I'm getting an A minus, maybe B plus, maybe a little better. I've been doing great. The results have been great, but I haven't been perfect. I haven't been whole food, plant-based, SOS free every meal, every day. The difference this time is that instead of clearing the board every time I screw up, every time something happens, I tore my distal bicep tendon, but I cleared the board, said, screw it, I'm done. Instead of clearing the board, I've admitted the defeat. I said goodbye to the avocado. I said goodbye to the 0-calorie sweetened drinks. And instead of clearing that chessboard, I said, hey, you know what? You won this round. Let's set up. Let's go. Let's do it again. I want another chance at the champ. I want another chance. I want another shot at this. I didn't say, screw you, I'm not doing this anymore. And I went into this challenge with a goal of 3 years. Not 3 years of perfection, but 3 years of effort. That's what my mindset was going into this, was to do it and to pick myself up every time I fall for 3 years. My recommendation is to you: pick up the pieces off the floor, apologize to yourself, and remember the lessons that you learned in the last game. That is the dietary ego trap. When you start, you're like, hey, I want to be up here. I want to be perfect. But in your mind, you're like, well, you're only going to get this far. You're never going to get there. So then you do it for 2-3 weeks and you get up here, and then you change your standard from, oh, you're never going to do this, to, if you don't be perfect, you're never going to finish, and you have to continue to be forgiving to yourself, allow yourself a little bit of compassion, and realize that we do not diet in a vacuum. If we could just go into the vacuum of space and just have only the foods that are the healthy foods and only the things that happen in our life that we want to have happen, that'd be wonderful. But we don't get those choices. We have to live in this holistic world. We can't live in a reductionist world. Make sure that you hit the like button on this video, the subscribe, so you subscribe to my channel, and the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live. If you have not started your diet yet, why not? Need to get started right now. There's no reason to wait. There's no reason to put it off till next weekend.